Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is the Breguet Type 21 reference 3810, launched in 2004 as a larger, perhaps more contemporary take on the traditional and smaller Type 20 aviator's watch, whose history dates back to French military contracts in the 1950s. So the 21 takes up the challenge of forging a 21st century legacy for the famous Breguet chronograph. Mechanically, very similar. Externally, larger. In titanium here, it's 42 millimeters in diameter. It's 15.4 millimeters thick. It's 50 millimeters from lug to lug, just the case. And if we include the end links, it's 56.6 millimeters across the wrist with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. I did put it on my scale, and it was 129.5 grams. So it's not toy-like. It's light for its size, but it's not toy-like. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference, and I feel like this watch wears just fine. But I also think that we're approaching the limits of what's possible here. So if your wrist is smaller than mine, you're going to want to get yourself a Type 20, not a Type 21. But for its size, it's thinner than I expected, it's not onerously heavy, and the lugs are not beyond the edge of my wrist. Not yet, anyway. So this is a pretty good fit for me, and if I were of a persuasion to prefer larger watches, I could go for this with no aesthetic or fit issues. The bracelet, also titanium, features a conforming end link. Many small individual links taper, a little bit of taper down towards the clasp. Removable links, as you can see, are fixed by screws, and there's several of them. We have a clasp, which is a thick gauge, single fold deployant with a snapshot action. It does say Breguet on the clasp, which you can see right there. Rolling around to the case, we have traditional Breguet case flank coining, although this is not cold rolled as some of the dress watches are. You can see we have Type 20 style teardrop undertuck profiles to the lugs. We have a screw down crown. The watch is in fact 100 meters water resistant, which you can see on the back, étanche, centimètres. The dial, no shortage of lume, including, somewhat oddly, the 24-hour sub-register. Now it has a bidirectional rotating timing bezel. Bidirectional means it is a timing bezel, not a dive bezel specifically. And so you can time one interval using the bezel and one interval using the chronograph. Now we're going to go back real quick, and you can see why every single minute on the dial is calibrated. And that's because it is a very, very precise aviation-oriented instrument. The idea being, again, dating back to the Breguet Type 20s, the 1950s. Type 20 referred to a military contract. It was not specifically the name of the watch. There were several makers selling Type 20s to the French military aviators, and Breguet was the one that persisted the longest and became most closely associated with the Type 20. So having this full calibration, minute by minute, is consistent with the kind of legibility and timing requirements that military aviators once upon a time would have experienced. Taking a quick look at the bezel, you can see raised, relieved, and polished indices and numerals, and then we have this black lacquer infill that has a little bit of a polymer-like feel. You can see we've got a boxed and cambered sapphire over a dial that features lovely brushed metallic applique numerals. There's a lot going on the dial, and let's dispel one of the points of confusion. First, let me note that because this is a Lamagna 1350 based movement, if you pull the crown and start changing the time while the chronograph is running, the chronograph hands are going to jump all over the place and go nuts. So remember, stop the chronograph before you start setting the time. The chronograph is also interesting because it is Lamagna based. Breguet calls this the 584Q. And so what we've got here is a date, a central minute register. So you can see we've got a hand that traces 60 minutes. We don't have a chrono minute register on the dial, so you get a true 60-minute chronograph. You also get this little 24-hour display here that is not a second time zone. It's often mistaken for some sort of second time zone. That is not what it is. That is an AM/PM indicator. So for example, we're on our way to 10:16, and that is going to be 10:16 at night. Now we do have a flyback capability, so reset and restart without first stopping. Just like the originals, the ability to do this, reset and restart very quickly, is ideal for timing evolutions in the air that occur in very rapid succession, where you may not have the time to do this. That's why the flyback is equipped. Now it does not feature hacking seconds, but it does feature a quick set date. I'm also going to clarify that 24-hour dial. That 24-hour dial tells me that it is 12 a.m. because you see how the hand is pinned on 24? And then also notice how only half of this is shaded, and the nighttime hours, semicircle on the bottom of this dial, that is the shaded portion. That is for the night. Now, one of the oddities of this movement, and again, it's a legacy of the 70s LeMania bass, when you're setting the quick set date, it has a gritty feel, almost as though you're simultaneously winding the watch, because you kind of are. So just keep that in mind. The feel is very unusual. And if you do attempt to make time corrections when this chronograph is running, you're going to get one of these. So don't do that. Just remember that. Okay. The movement, it is LeMania based, and it's an automatic winder with a 45-hour power reserve, a 4 Hz beat rate. It has the quick set, it has the 60-minute chronograph display, it has the 24-hour clarification dial, so you know AM or PM. It has 25 joules. It uses a combination of a cam-based function cycler and a lateral clutch. But I have to say the quality of Breguet and LeMania's cam is column wheel level. So if you're talking about qualitative differences in the feel, you're going to find none versus a column wheel. Now, because it is a lateral clutch, you'll notice how much the chronograph seconds hand does jump when you start it up, but that's just endemic to lateral clutches, which, although not as sufficient to the cause of perfection as a vertical clutch, lateral clutches are often more durable, and there's no arguing with the fact that that is one of the reasons why the Omega Moonwatch caliber, decade after decade, remains in space service. So don't knock the lateral clutch. It has a lot of traditional beauty and also toughness inherent in it. So if you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details. And just to be absolutely clear, although I mentioned the Moonwatch caliber as a comparable lateral clutch chronograph, the Moonwatch is a manual wind. This is automatic, so I just want to make sure nobody makes that mistake and confuses the two.